Hi everyone, crazy keto guy here. Um, it's a little bit late at night, so I've got to be careful I'm not too noisy. Uh, I had thought about doing this video tomorrow, but decided because I was pretty bored, now would be a good time to do it. So first things first, glasses are wonky as ever, or is it just my head? Um, So I've got a list. It's quite a long list. It's two sides. So quite a lot to get through. Some of it we will rush through quite quickly. Couple of admissions. I lied. There you go. I've said it. I lied. I lied because I haven't done a video for a couple of weeks. And when I did my last video, I did say that I was on week 23. I believe I've got my weeks well skew iffy. I'm on week 24 now, which means last week was week 23, which means the week when I said I was on 23, I was actually on 22. Are you keeping count? But anyway, yeah, so it's Monday today. And today is the start of week. I'm going to really have to sort my head out so it looks like they're straight. There you go. I think that's no, I'm just not going to get it. So yeah, today is the start of week 24. The other thing I lied about is the last time I did a video, I confessed to the fact that because of my gym assessment getting messed up, but the fact that I'd still lost some weight, that I was super motivated and I would be super motivated for that week, and I wasn't. In fact, rewind to 2 weeks ago when I got the great news that I'd lost, I think it was like £4 unexpectedly. I said I'd be a lot more motivated on the back of that, and in fact that week was not a write-off. Maybe I'm being harsh on myself, but I didn't get as much done. And I think what really frustrated me is at the end of the week in particular, I intended to make up for it and I didn't. And every day sort of come and went, and I just kept making excuses. So long story short, week 22, yeah, because that's what I was on that week, so you're getting confused again with the weeks. Week 22, in my opinion, wasn't a great week. It's going to be very interesting to see if I maintained, gained, or lost weight that week. Just to remind everyone, in week 22, as it actually was, and not 23 as I said in the video, I was down to 16 stone 5. So with 3 weeks to go before the supposed festive periods, with 3 weeks to go, I was only a pound off my original target weight, which was a weight that I'd set myself, 16 stone 4, which I'd set myself way back when I started, and something that would represent a 2 stone loss. From my original starting weight of 18 stone 4. Now, here's a question for you all. What should my starting weight be? What should I actually tell people? Because when I started on July the 1st, nearly said June, when I started on July the 1st, my starting weight was 18 stone 4. Or 18.3. Sorry, 18.3. I'm getting it all wrong. Not very good at me, is it? So yeah, when I started, big sheet of, oh, got to be careful. Oh no, that's all right. But I have my new ones in here, which I'm not revealing until next week, but I haven't. So yeah, when I started, I was 18 stone 3 on July the 1st. So should that be my starting weight, 18 stone 3? Or should my starting weight in fact be what it was the week after? Yes, that's right. 1 week after being on keto, it was actually up £7. I put £7 on the first week I was on keto. Hey, go figure. To 1810. So which one should be my starting weight? 18.3 or 18.10? Either way, last time I weighed in, very unexpectedly, 16.5. So 16.4 was my target weight, so actually just under 2 stone was my original target weight. Will I make it? And I'll tell you how I come to that target weight. It was 1.5 pounds a week from when I set that target weight. So sorry, spending way too much time on it anyway. So 1 pound to go, 3 weeks to go. Seemed like it would be no problem, but week 22, as I said, was a bit of a disappointment, maybe being a bit harsh on myself, but definitely didn't get the training done. Last week, near perfect, gotta say, brilliant week, near perfect, and this week has started off really well as well, so fingers crossed. It would be nice to not only hit the 16.4, but to beat it by a few pound as well. Give me a little bit of wiggle room over Christmas. I penned in Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day. Then I think I have like 3-4 days in between where I can go back keto, get some training in, maybe a bit of fasting. And then I've also penned in New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. I think that's going to be it. Now, why I say that kind of in a weird, sheepish way is I'd had this mad brainstorm that whilst I was in this naughty mode, it might be an idea to sneak in a couple of other treats that I've desperately been dying for and get everything out of my system. But I think in reflection, I think the plan is what it always was, and we won't, get distracted by that. I definitely think I'm going to put weight on. It's not like I'm looking for Christmas alternatives. I am definitely going to be a bad boy. Santa is going to have me on his list because I will be in mince pies, I will be in Christmas pudding, I will be in Christmas cake, I will certainly be in roast potatoes, and there's a few other things I know over the Christmas period. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to try and stay as controlled as I can. But I want to underline this to people now. I understand that there are some people out there that are clean keto and would not even think about looking at a roast potato. I view it like this. Before I started my new lifestyle, 100% of my life was based on enjoyment of life. I didn't think about quality of life and what I might be doing to myself. What I don't want to do is go full circle. I still want to enjoy myself. I think that's important, that you have an element of enjoyment. You have to manage it, you have to control it, but my thing now would be, I think, probably 80% quality of life and 20% enjoyment of life. So Christmas and New Year, I was going to say I'm going to let the air down, but obviously that would have looked a little bit comical, as yesterday we had our head shaved. So yeah, anyway, right, so moving on to, I've confessed my lies. I've done the weight catch-up. 3-week announcement. So from week 22, when I weighed in last time, 16 stone 5, it was 3 weeks up until the 23rd of December, which is next Monday. I've weighed in for the last 2 Mondays, but I've hidden the results. I've not looked myself, nobody else has seen them. And the idea is next Monday I intend to reveal them. Now I'm actually thinking of doing a video like this and also doing it live. I've never used a live facility for anything like this before. So Crazy Keto Guy, maybe even my personal account, and maybe 1 or 2 other keto related groups that I'm on, and just do a whole live thing where we chat. People can ask me questions. If anyone's got any questions for me. I do doubt that sometimes because my group and the sort of like community thing inside of that has been really quiet, so that's probably why I've not been on there as much. Maybe I thought I was funny and people would want to interact with me, but no. So next week, next Monday, 3-week announcement as part of next week's video. Right, first subject I want to discuss is, and I keep spelling it wrong and I apologise, you're going to have to Google it and hopefully you'll get it right, and hopefully I'll say it right, is cruciferous vegetables. Cruciferous, I think I'm saying that right. So I stumbled across cruciferous vegetables via one of my idols, one of my heroes, Dr. Rhonda Patrick. There's some amazing stuff out there if you want to Google it, if you want to YouTube it. I follow Rhonda like a stalker. I'm sure I'm going to get some sort of, notice restraining order. That's what I was looking for. But anyway, cruciferous vegetables. Trust me, I'm not going to dazzle you with loads of sciencey stuff. I might give you a little inty weeny teeny little bit. But basically they are amazing. So I'm going to tell you some. Broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, cow. Can I say I'd never eaten cow before until today, funny enough. Sauteed it, butter, white truffle, olive oil, garlic, some bacon lardons, some Maldon sea salt. Oh my God, it was crazy good. I don't know if it was the white truffle olive oil, but it was amazing. So yeah, there's Brussels sprouts, a good one coming up for Christmas. So they're what they call cruciferous vegetables. Now, one of the things that these vegetables have inside of them is a thing called sulforaphane. So I'm going to tell you how I think you spell that bit. It's SULFORAPHANE, sulforaphane. Now, apparently, it's the reaction the plant does when you like break it, like bite into it, chew it. So it releases this thing. It's sort of like a defense mechanism called sulforaphane. But they have done some studies on sulforaphane, and especially, and I know this is a contentious issue, I'm not suggesting it's a miracle cure, but especially the effects on cancers. And people are ranting about it. So I want to strongly recommend people introduce it into their diet as much as you can. So I try and have cruciferous vegetables 4 or 5 times a week. Now there's a few other things that you can do that supposedly enhance and increase the amount of sulforaphane that you actually intake. The best source of sulforaphane is actually not in any of the ones that I mentioned, but in broccoli sprouts, the actual like little sprouts. Now in the UK it's nigh on impossible to get hold of these. I've found 1 or 2 places that do them. One place is in London and they don't distribute anywhere. I'm edging towards what actually saying that Dr. Rhonda Patrick, did I say Rhonda Rousey earlier? I keep making that mistake. So if I said Rhonda Rousey, I do apologize. It's Dr. Rhonda Patrick. Probably did say the right name, hopefully. Something she promotes is growing your own. Again, it is a bit of a process. You have to get the jars, special jars that you put the seeds in. You water them. 4.5 days later, you end up with these broccoli sprouts. I forget the exact number, but the difference between, I think, normal broccoli, which I think of all the cruciferous vegetables has the most sulforaphane in it, compared to what broccoli sprouts have, is ridiculous. So you definitely want to be getting the broccoli sprouts. Now, what I was doing, I did get some sprouts from a particular shop that now doesn't have them again. Typical. They probably tried them out and see how people did, like whether we bought them or not. And I was probably the only one buying them. What I was doing is I was having my cruciferous vegetable, whether it was the cauliflower or the broccoli or the spinach, and I was actually putting the broccoli sprouts, or what I thought was the broccoli sprouts, over the top, only to find out that most of what was in this sprout mix that I got, this salad topper as they called it, was alfalfa. Now, alfalfa is okay, but it doesn't apparently have both the ingredients that are needed to basically create sulforaphane. Or at least that's what I believe. I hope that I'm getting that right. You can cheat whether you're actually using broccoli sprouts or cruciferous vegetables or anything, alfalfa, whatever. You can put mustard seed extract over the top, and apparently that replaces the missing part of what's missing in alfalfa, for example, and it would encourage the production of sulforaphane. And likewise, it increases sulforaphane. It just, you know, in like normal broccoli sprout. So it's a great thing to add on top. So I was literally cruciferous vegetable, broccoli sprouts, even though it turned out they were alfalfa, on top, and then mustard seed extract ground over the top. What I'm going to try and do is either find a source where I can buy them from or start growing them myself in the new year. It will still be my plan to have a cruciferous vegetable such as broccoli or cauliflower or spinach or kale, put the broccoli sprouts over the top, and then the mustard seed extract over the top of that. Please, please, please look into it. So as I say, either Google or YouTube Dr. Rhonda Patrick and her work on cruciferous vegetables, her work on sulforaphane. There's some really good in-depth stuff. The results, what it's already showing on preventing cancers and slowing cancers down, is very encouraging. And there was one study in particular on prostate cancer, obviously for us guys, a really big subject. Now, this was done on people that already had developed prostate cancer. I can't remember the exact term, but there's a term that refers to the doubling of the tumor. And basically it reduced the doubling time down by 82%, which is just mind-blowing, incredible. So people that had prostate cancer, the biggest worry is this doubling effect and how quickly the tumor's doubling all the time. But sulforaphane, when given, I forget, I think it was 120 milligrams or grams, grams probably, actually thinking about it. When they were given 120 grams of sulforaphane, it reduced that doubling effect by 82%. It's shown in a lot of other cancers to slow down and even prevention. I'm not quite sure how they know that, but please, rather than me mumbling, go and watch Dr. Rhonda Patrick on that subject. Just one final thing, which I am going to mention again in a little bit. There is a supplement, because this is of course the $64 million question. If this is so great, if this sulforaphane is so great, why isn't it put into a supplement? It kind of leads on to a subject. I'm actually going to rejink the order so that this kind of makes some sense. I have a concern with supplements. I was taking a lot of supplements up until 2 weeks ago. Probably in the morning, I made this special, what I called my morning juice, and I took about 16 tablets with it, which equated to about 13, 14 different supplements, some amino acids, some omega-3 fish oil, and then a bunch of other stuff, ginger, cinnamon, just loads. Anyway, this is my problem. To my understanding, in the UK and the USA, there's really no governing what goes inside of these tablets. So they could be placebo, or they could be worse. They could have stuff in, you know, that you don't want to be putting inside your stomach and your body. So anyway, I decided to stop taking my supplements. One of the reasons is I'd noticed I'm not saying this was the reason, but I'd noticed my blood pressure had gone up a little bit, and I still was struggling to make ketones in my body, which was really bugging me. So I decided to stop taking all of my supplements, and I also stopped taking my morning juice. Now, firstly, since I've done that, my blood sugars have come back down, and they look really, really good the last 2 weeks, and the start of this week. And my ketones, more interestingly, have gone up. Now, again, I think there's another reason as well with that, but we'll come to that in a bit. So my problem is this. With supplements, are you actually getting what it says on the tin? Does it actually do? Has it got those active ingredients in the supplement? And to a lot of degrees, you just don't know. So back to sulforaphane. There are a couple of companies that are doing products that supposedly have sulforaphane in them. I'm only going to recommend one, and that is again based on Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She sings the praises of, sorry, got to go to my notes here. It's a French company, and they produce a product called Prostaphan. That's Prostaphane. Now, obviously, as the name probably suggests, they are marketing it quite heavily towards prevention of prostate cancer. I need to do a little bit more digging, but everything that I've seen suggests it's not like, oh, you know, you can only take it with prostate cancer in mind, or you've got to have prostate cancer to take it. There's obviously the acknowledged effects that early surveys have shown, this massive decrease in the doubling effect of prostate cancer. Now, she basically says that in her opinion, the company are a genuine company. I think I don't know if she's done a test on the product or somebody's done a test on the product, but they were sort of saying it's got a potency of about 70% sulforaphane. But I just want to message the company and say, look, you know, can people that are not, you know, necessarily thinking about prostate cancer, that maybe have got, you know, other reasons for taking it, just this general belief? Because again, when you've watched the videos by Dr. Rhonda Patrick, you'll understand that there's a whole lot more beneficial things about sulforaphane and in turn cruciferous vegetables. So but yeah, so anyway, so that is the one supplement that really gets raved about, I guess, by well, maybe raved is the wrong word, but certainly spoken highly of by Dr. Rhonda Patrick. So remembering now, back to supplements, so I've stopped taking all of these supplements. Now, most of my supplements I buy from a respected health store in the UK, very highly respected health store. So I've got no reason to doubt that their products are genuine and do actually have what it says inside. I can't absolutely hammer it down and say the reason why my blood sugars had gone up slightly was down to the supplement or a particular supplement. You know, I mean, 15 of the tablets might have been fine. It might have just been that one. I can't say for sure that it was the same reason that my ketones had still not got to the level and the consistency that I wanted. So what I intend to do in the new year, once we get back, is to start slowly introducing one by one. There are some I'm more keen to get back on, and we'll monitor things, and we'll give them a week each time. It's going to be a slow process, but it will be interesting to see if we can identify maybe something that impedes the production of ketones or inflates the blood sugars a little bit, maybe the amino acids, for example. But then there were benefits for us to take the amino acids that we wanted to explore. So again, we are going to start to introduce these supplements back in the new year. We're going to get Christmas and the new year out of the way and have a little settling period, and then we're going to start to reintroduce them. Now, talking of new supplements, one of the big objectives for the new year is to, by February, so a month after the Christmas period, to totally eradicate the need for insulin. So again, just a little recap. When I started as a type 2 diabetic who had basically not controlled his diabetes for 15 years, I was on 2 different forms of insulin. I was also on 2 tablets. So let's talk about the tablets first. That was glycoside, which I used to take before a meal. I'd eat my dinner, and then I'd take metformin. Now I was on 160 milligrams of glycoside twice a day, and I was on 1,000 milligrams, pretty much the maximum dose of both, twice a day. I now take 80 milligrams, so I've halved my glycoside, and 500 milligrams of metformin, both of those twice a day. So basically I've halved my tablet medication. I think the thing I'm most proud about is the insulin. So one of my insulins was what they call a slow release insulin. I would take it at night, and the idea it would help to govern my blood sugars whilst I was asleep, and that was called Lantus. I took 14 units a day. I now, sorry, dying, bit of food. I now take none. Totally eradicated the need for my slow release insulin Lantus. My quick release insulin, which is called Humulin, I was taking 24 units twice a day, about 10 hours apart roughly. I now take 6 units a day. So I've reduced the second insulin. I've got rid of one, and I've reduced the other one by 75%. Now, it was originally my plan to come off of the insulin completely before Christmas, but obviously thinking about it, that probably weren't good timing. So I decided to put that date back till February the 2nd. Sorry, February the 1st. So with that in mind, I have bought 2 new, that one's good, and that one. So I have Banana Leaf, never heard of it before, I know, and Gymina, however you say that. Okay, these 2 are in relation to managing blood glucose. So the idea, again, this will be a slow process, one that will be monitored closely, is to start to introduce these as we come off of, well, to probably come off my insulin, see where we go with that, and if we see any kind of spike, to introduce these into the diet. So yeah, these are blood glucose medication, Banana Leaf and Gymina, or however you say that. So they're 2 new well, not medications, but supplements. But again, everything I do slowly. I do it monitored, and I do it over time, and the slightest little beep beep, and we're pretty quick for cutting it out, making changes. So that's one. A reveal, oh, exciting, is now I currently have a magnesium that I take from the said shop that I buy from, but it's the very available and cheap magnesium. Magnesium oxide, maybe. But again, Rhonda, are you watching Rhonda? Guess what? Fawn. Now these are flown in by courier from the US of A, from Fawn. Now I bought these actually from a company that you can get online called iHerb. Apparently they sent me a love letter. Can't be bad. Now, one of the things I did with iHerb, who are an online entity, is I went and spoke to Fawn. And I said, nice man at Fawn, do you distribute your products, because they don't distribute it to the UK themselves, through iHerb? And he said yes, they're an authorized dealer and the products are from us. He said, if you want to send us the batch number, I will confirm things for you, which I've not done yet, whether I do or not. But I'm very happy that I now have from Fawn 2 new magnesiums. Okay, now let me try and get this right. This is magnesium biglycinate, and this one is magnesium malate. Malate, do you know, I'm gonna have to redo this, I think, in regards to magnesium in another video, because the one thing I forgot to do was put my little note down on magnesium. Oh, got something in my eye. All I can tell you is my belief is, one, I mean, there's lots of benefits to the magnesium, but one of them is more in regards to helping with sleep. But another thing for me is occasionally I get a bit of a off rhythm with my heart, and apparently magnesium biglycinate helps with that. That's one, actually, the biglycinate, that you can actually put into a shake as part of a shake, so that will be useful. And these ones are capsules. And the magnesium malate, I've got a sneaky feeling, but I will confirm this in another video. When I look through all the different magnesiums, and there's a good load of them. I mean, Thomas DeLore on YouTube does an amazing video on the different magnesiums. I'm pretty sure that the malate one was the energy. It gave you, one of the bonuses of it was that it gave you energy. But please, as I say again, there's probably 10, I think, that Thomas DeLore talks about that he feels are like the main magnesiums. I mean, that even includes bath salts, whatever that is, whichever one that comes under. So yeah, this was a new addition that we're starting in the new year. I get a lot of aches, and again, apparently these can help, but I think that might be a different magnesium. It's amazing. I thought magnesium was magnesium. I didn't even realize that it's magnesium and it's attached to another whatever, like compound or whatever, and it kind of then makes it slightly different, and it does sound slightly different. I know there was one that was like more energy, malate. I think there was one improved the energy that you already had, and then one gave you other energy, if I'm getting that right. One was like a repairer, fixed stuff. So, mind blown. So again, like I said, go and watch Dr. Rhonda Patrick when it comes to sulforaphane. Go and watch Thomas DeLore maybe, and look for his videos when he talks about magnesium, because he's going to do it a whole lot better than me. I know I shouldn't have done this video this late at night. It's over 30 minutes already. I'm not even on page 2, and I've got loads still to go through. But anyway, I'm going to battle on. So we've talked about the new magnesium. We've talked about the new blood glucose. Just want to quickly show you I moved on to my fourth different MCT oil. I always try and get pure C8 where I can. This is the fourth one. This is a company in the UK, so I'm very happy to support them, Primal Energy, even though I am going to have to say, because I believe in truthful reviews, and I'm going to go tut tut tut. I think the last pure C8 one I used was about 98.8%. This one is only 95. So yeah, you're nearly 4% less than the last one I tried. I do like the fact it's in a litre bottle, but then saying that price-wise, it's still come out. Most of them are sort of 16 to 20 pound for 500 millilitres, and yeah, this kind of fitted into that same price bracket. But the convenience of that, I don't have to order it as often, certainly helps. And considering how good my ketones are at the moment, I think there is one big reason for that, which I'm going to come to in a minute, but I've certainly got no concerns over it. Like I said, with all these supplements, it's almost like I want to send them away. I want to send them away to a lab somewhere and say, right, now you tell me what's in here. You know, you tell me what's in the, the new blood glucose tablets and the magnesium tablets and all of the supplements, just to make sure that it actually is what it is. Anyway, so my new fourth one in all the time I've been doing keto, my new Primal Energy CA pure 95% MCT oil. Just another little tidbit. L-carnitine. I take this again, high strength liquid L-carnitine. The reason I take L-carnitine, it's liquid form, it tastes like lemon, it's perfectly yummy. The reason I take it is I watched another one of my fans, name dropping them all today, Professor Benjamin Bickman, talk about what happens in the process of creating ketone bodies. And one of the things that is needed, and people can be deficient of, and obviously because I wasn't producing ketone bodies, I got a bit panicky, is L-carnitine. It acts as the vehicle, apparently, that takes the fatty acid into the liver to convert either into a lipid, yucky fat, or convert into ketone bodies. And what determines that is the level of insulin. So if you have too much insulin, it will turn it into fat. And if you don't, it will then turn it into the desired effect, which is ketone bodies. So I was wondering if I was deficient in L-carnitine and started taking it. I can tell you that when I started taking it, my ketones didn't noticeably go up. So I don't believe that is one of the factors as to why my ketones are now healthily up over 1, sometimes nearly 4. So a big improvement. So that's another thing just to consider. You know, if you're struggling to create ketones, might it be an idea to try L-carnitine in your diet? I don't believe there's any downsides to it. The only thing I will say is it can give you a bit of a runny tummy if you take too much. They say up to 1500 to 2000 milliliters. So that's like basically a teaspoon is 500, and that's all I take. I don't throw down the 3 or 4 teaspoons or a big tablespoon of it. The one time I did, enough said. Right, so the last thing I want to show you in regards to new supplements, I need to just quickly run to the fridge. So 1 second. Sorry about that. So the final thing on the new list of parts of my development on my new healthier lifestyle, can anyone guess who suggested this? Dr. Rhonda Patrick. VSL 3 or VSL number 3. basically, I'm taking this to help rebuild my gut. Oh, gone out of focus. My gut biome. I hope I said that right. The bacteria that's basically inside your stomach, of which there are trillions of them. Some people will take those little bottles of milk, little can't even think what they called actually. I was going to say Alpro, but I don't think that is. They've got like a couple of billion at most. This one has got, don't know if you can see this, I'm not very good at lining it up, 450 billion. So what I do, 10 sachets, again they go into a shake with some Alpro milk. Funny enough, I mentioned Alpro. Some Alpro almond unsweetened drink, should I say, not milk. And I mix one of these in and a few other bits, and this is 450 billion good bacteria that goes back into my system. As I say, you get 10 sachets in a box. A box is about £16, so not cheap, £1.60 a sachet. I don't do the idea of one a day, controversial. I just take these at the end of my prolonged/extended fast. I do 2 a week of around 24 hours. I come off of them very specifically with lean protein, and then about an hour later I'll have one of these in a shake. I just think that's the best time. I could be wrong. If anyone wants to correct me, let me know. But that is part of my regime. They come chilled in like a special delivery thing, and you have to keep them in the fridge, which is why as soon as I finish this, that's going to go back in. But yeah, so that would be another thing. Oh, out of focus, massively out of focus. That would be another thing I would consider researching. And again, Dr. Rhonda Patrick, she's going to be busy, is the one. Right, on to page 2. Other supplements that I'm looking for at the moment currently is a good source of curcumin, which is the real active ingredient of turmeric. Apparently turmeric is still good, but it doesn't have the oomph, the rawness, the density, I'm trying to find the word, potency of curcumin. So I'm looking for a good source of curcumin. I've already mentioned prostaphan, but that still has to be researched. So that's it really on the supplement front, bringing back in the older supplements in the new year, and got a few things to add and a few things we're still looking at. Now, why have my ketones gone up so massively great the last 2 weeks? I believe because I'm exercising more. I think that is one of the areas I was missing out on. I think also I'm drinking more water, which I think is important, and one of the things maybe people struggle with. So supposedly I'm supposed to drink 4.2 litres a day. I'm still not sure I'm doing that, but I'm trying to get as close as I can, as often as I can. But I really do think it's the exercise. For example, the day that I had off last week, where I had a recovery day because I was about to drop dead, was the first day that my ketones dropped below 1. So I think that's really an indicator. And normally after a training session, a good training session in particular, my blood sugars are up nearly at 4. So definitely the exercising has been highlighted, and it really is the last 2 weeks where I've seen this massive improvement. So I'm going to be very interested to see how much weight I lost last week and how much weight I lose this week. That's it. Christmas again is the last thing I wrote, but we've already spoke about Christmas. I'm going to be a bad boy at Christmas. I don't care. I will document it. I apologize if anyone sees me posting pictures of mince pies. even worse if you see me eating them. But as I say, everybody, have as good a Christmas as you can allow yourself. Um, be with your family, hug them, kiss them, tell them how much you love them. It's important still to have a level of enjoyment of life. Crazy Keto Guy.